People from different countries often think differently, make decisions differently, perceive communication differently. But how much does that influence an advertising? In this video, we have compared Indian and American Kia Seltos advertisement using over 80 different parameters to understand how the same product is marketed to two different audiences. Let's directly jump into the analysis and see what the data reveals. Alright, so we will be doing comparison for Kia Seltos India and Kia Seltos American ad, and let's see what we find out by comparing both of these ads. So first we will what our objective is, why we are doing this comparison. So basically our main objective to do this comparison test is to find out that how differently a brand made an approach towards two different markets while introducing the same product with the same intent. So how we are going to do this is we have 10 categories and almost 82 parameters on which we will analyze both the ads. They are same categories and same 82 parameters. Both the ads will be studied on the basis of these 10 categories and 82 parameters. So here at the left you can see the 10 categories that we have. The first one is the comparison baseline. The second category is the first impression. The third category is the target audience, emotion and psychological triggers, positioning, storytelling, visual analysis, branding and recall, distinctive brand assets, and marketing and sales. So these are the 10 categories on which we will compare both the ads. So let's move to the category 1, and the category 1 is a comparison baseline, where what we have is in the comparison baseline, as you can see here, these are the two ad videos that we have. The one that you see at the top is an Indian ad, and the one that you see at the bottom is the American ad. So in this comparison baseline, what we found out is, before comparing the ads, we verified that both campaigns were promoting the same brand, the same vehicle, the same product, and with the same intent. Now as you can see on the left, that here are the columns that we have. The first column is the status, which will tell us whether the parameter went same or it was different. The second one is the parameter that will show us the parameter. Third column is the data for India, and the fourth one is the data for US. So now as you can see that the status is same. The brand name is Kia in both the status, in both the countries. We are comparing product name is Seltos. Now the product type is a car, and with the same industry, the one is for India and the one is for the United States. And the year of the ad was December 2025 for India and April 2026 for US. And the ad duration is 48 seconds for Indian advertisement and 33 seconds for American advertisement. These are all of these information are same. There is only one thing that is different in both the ads is the brand age. When both of these ads were released, in India, Kia was fairly new and it was released in 2019. So the brand age of Kia in India was 6 years approximately when the ad was released, and the brand age of Kia in the United States was more than 10 plus years. So it was the Kia entered American market in 1992, so it's pretty long time. So we have marked it 10 plus years approximately, and this is 6 plus years in India. So Kia, as you can see the difference here, that the Kia is fairly old in United States in comparison to India. So these are the baseline comparison info that we have. Now we will move to the next category, that would be the first impression, and let's see what we found out in the first impression category. And In the first impression category, there is only minor difference over found, and only 1 out of 6 parameters did not match. So let's see what are those parameters are. So in the first impression was almost identical across both the markets. Both ads reveal the car and the brand within the first 3 seconds. The only real difference is the opening emotion. India begins with curiosity, while the US advertisement starts with more neutral tone. This is what we found. This is what we found in the first impression category. Now this is the first impression category, and the first parameter in the first impression category is the whether the human was shown in the first 3 seconds or not. So let me tell you first. So in you can see that in the Indian column it says no, and in the American column it says no. So why and how we marked no on this? So what we did is the parameter says whether the human shown in the first 3 seconds or not. So what we did is we played the ad like this for first 3 seconds, and we noticed in both the ads whether the human was shown in the first 3 seconds or not. So this is the ad till first 3 seconds in Indian scenario.
First impressions start with looks.
And this is the ad for this is the ad for Kia Seltos in American scenario. In both the ads, in initial 3 seconds, humans were not shown, so we marked no on it. Now in the second parameter, we have what appears in the first 3 seconds. So in both the products, product close-up was shown in the first 3 seconds. As you can see here, 1 second, 2 second, and the product is appeared here. Similarly, in the American advertisement, the advertisement starts itself with the product close-up. So in Indian and American scenario, we marked both the parameters as product close-up was shown in the first 3 seconds. Now let's see the next parameter here, and in the next parameter, it asks that whether the product was shown in the first 3 seconds or not. So in both the cases, product was shown, so we marked yes here. And the next parameter, we have whether the brand logo was shown in the first 3 seconds or not. As you can see here, when we play the ad, in the first 3 seconds, the Kia logo is there on the bonnet of the car. And similarly, in the American scenario, the Kia logo is there in the there on the bonnet of the car. So we can see that the brand logo was shown in the first 3 seconds, so we marked yes here as well. Now what the difference is? So what the differences that we found in both the ads was, in the case of first impression, was emotion created. What kind of emotion was created in first 5 seconds? So after watching both the ads, what we found is, when you see this close shot, it kind of shows that curiosity was developing in Indian advertising in initial few seconds. But in the American scenario, just directly the product was shown. So in the Indian scenario, the positive impression was created, positive emotion that included curiosity in it. But in the American scenario, the emotion was not clear, because they just directly jumped into show the product on the screen. Now the last parameter that we have in the first impression is, does viewer understand ad immediately? So in both the scenarios, users were able to understand the ad. The reason was they directly shown the vehicle on the screen. So it pretty much clear. It is pretty much clear in both the ads that this advertisement was made to exhibit car that is made by Kia. Now let's move to the next category, that is target audience. In the case of target audience, what we found is the first major shift appears in the target audience. That means in the target audience, 8 parameters out of 9 did not match. So we found a major difference in this particular target audience category. That means in India, Kia targeted completely different audience than they did in America. So in the case of target audience, as you can see that the 8 out of 9 did not match. So what exactly happened and what are the parameters in this target audience category? Let's see. So the first parameter in the target audience category is the gender bias, whether they shown the gender bias or not. So when we watched the whole ad, we found out that the Indian ad was completely made for the male dominant audience, and it shows that the product is completely male dominant. But in the United States it's kind of a gender neutral, because when you will see this ad, you can see this in ad that this ad is completely made for the male audience. And in case of America, you can see that this whole ad did not show any human in it. So it was a kind of a gender neutral ad in America, but in India it was a completely male dominant ad, as you can see here. It's a male dominant ad. So now in the second parameter in the target audience category is the income segment. On the basis of visual cues only, on the basis of visual cues, what we found that in India it is targeting the premium audience, because the kind of a scenario that they have shown in the ad and overall surrounding of the ad, where the ad was shot, the kind of a character that they have taken, the kind of actors and characters that they have shown in the ad is kind of a premium side. So we have marked this income segment is a premium segment, but in the United States we can see it as a mid-range or a practical income segment. The reason is they did not show any human, but they have shown the functionality of the product, the features of the product. So as you can see here in the income segment in American ad, car is displaying the features of the product, unlike Indian ad. So that's why we have marked this as income segment as a mid-range or practical audience. Now the third parameter is urban or rural. In India, the ad is completely shown in the urban scenario, but in the United States the advertisement was shot in the rural scenario, in the forest and in the woods. So we have marked both of these parameters according to what we see in the ad. Now the fourth parameter in the target audience section is family or individual. In Indian ad, it is completely individual focused ad, individual male focused ad, and in the United States human usage was not shown in the ad. Age group is, when we see the ad, we can see that the in Indian ad is targeting male adults in between 30 to 50, but in the United States it's not visible. So now in the next parameter in the target audience is aspirational or practical audience. In India it's targeting aspirational audience, but in the United States it's targeting the practical or utility problem solving based audience. The next parameter in the target audience is whether the ad is targeting new buyers or existing buyers. In India, it's targeting both new and old buyers, because you can see both of the men are sitting in the car. Both of them have same car, and the one character is nodding towards the main character, that and it shows that the kind of unspoken communication in between them shows that the ad is targeting both the old and the new buyers. But in the American scenario, it's not you cannot identify that they are targeting old or the new audience. Now the next parameter in the target audience section is decision maker identified. In India, yes, the decision maker is identified, that is male, adult in between 30 to 50, but in the United States, decision maker not shown in the ad. Now in the target audience category, the last parameter is the mass market or niche. In India, they are targeting the mass market, and in the United States, they are targeting mass market in both the ads, just because they did not show any kind of a specific niche that this particular ad is made for some specific kind of a profession or specific kind of people. So you can see that both the ads are targeting mass market, and this is the only thing that matches in target audience, and all the rest of the parameters did not match. Alright, now let's move towards our next category, that is emotion and psychological triggers. In our next category, what we found out is the emotional strategy changes almost completely, with India relying on aspiration and status, while the US advertisement leans towards a more practical and convenience driven approach. So how we came to this particular conclusion, we will find this out by studying the parameters that we analyzed on the basis of both the ads. So the first parameter that we have in the emotional and psychological triggers is separate in both the countries. The first parameter is main emotion used. In India, the main emotion was used is aspiration, and it was more lean towards luxury, success and better life framing. But in the United States, it was more informational and neutral. The next parameter that we have is secondary emotion. In India, the secondary emotion was pride. How we came to this particular secondary emotion was when we watched Indian ad at a particular moment when we see here.
Yeah.
You can see here this part of the ad, and at the end of the ad you can see here. Like this.
Everything's new except the attitude.
So this is the part of the ad that shows the secondary emotion of the advertisement. In India, it is pride, but in United States, it's none, because there is no human shown, and there is no emotion shown in the ad. In case of United States, so fear was not used in both the countries, and aspiration was used. There was a clear aspiration in Indian ad, but there was no aspiration in United States Kia Seltos ad. Now the next parameter is the status used. In India, there was a clear status signal was shown in the ad, but again in the United States it was not used. Now in the next parameter we have trust used. In Indian scenario and in the American, both the scenarios, the basic trust was used while displaying the ad. The next parameter we have in the emotion and psychological triggers is convenience. In India, convenience was not used because the ad was more focused towards aspiration and luxury life. But in the United States, it was more towards utility, functionality, and usefulness of the product. So the convenience was dominant in the United States ad, as you can see here.
First, the story. With interior space. Bing. New Kia Seltos. Style. More. With more style. More interior space.
So the convenience was used in the United States ad because they are displaying features of the product in the ad. In case of transformational scenario of both the ads, if they are showing any kind of signals where buyers or the audience feel kind of a transformation in their life, so in both the ads they did not show any kind of a transformation that you were this, now after buying this particular product you will become that. So in India, they did not use that particular emotion or the transformational signal in it. But in the United States, they have used the partial transformation because they have shown the product, and while showing the product they have used some of the terms that shows that how this particular product will help people to make their life easy. Now the next parameter is belonging and social acceptance. In India, the strong belonging narrative was shown, but in the United States it was not shown because there was no human present in the US ad. But in the ad that was released in India, but in the Indian ad there is a clear social acceptance was shown when the secondary characters notes towards the primary character. Here it is like this. So that's why the social acceptance was shown in the Indian ad. Scarcity and urgency was not shown in both the ads. Now let's move towards the category 5th, that is positioning, how they positioned the ads in both the countries. And the summary of what we found out in the positioning is even though the product is the same, its positioning changes dramatically in India. In India sells identity and emotional value, whereas the US sells functional outcomes. So how we came to this particular conclusion, let's see with the parameters that we have. So you can see 8 out of 10 parameters are different in positioning. So the parameters that we have is what is the product really selling, functional benefit, emotional benefit, social benefit, identity benefit. In India they are selling identity and expression, but in the United States they are selling the functional outcome of the product. In India, functionality benefit is barely shown in the product, in the advertisement, but in the US it is clearly demonstrated in the advertisement. If there is any kind of emotional benefit, yes, there was a clear emotional benefit was shown in the Indian ad, but an emotional benefit was not shown in the American ad. Yes, the social benefit was also shown in the Indian ad, as we discussed earlier, but social benefit was not shown in the American ad. Is there any kind of identity benefit? Yes, there was a clear identity positioning was shown in the Indian ad, but it was not present in the American ad. Now the two parameters that matches in positioning is the USP and the competitor comparison, because in both the Indian and American ads they did not show these two things. USP is basically unique selling proposition, and competitor comparison in both the ads. You won't see the both of these parameters, both of these things in both the ads. But in India there was a premium positioning was shown, but in the United States there was a mild premium cues was shown, because the design was clean and the view and the visuals were good. But in India they have shown the high-end environment and the luxury tone. And in India affordability positioning was shown or not, or in the United States it was not present there, because they did not mention any kind of a price or offer or discount in the ad. But in Indian ad they have shown the price of the product, as you can see at the end of the here it is. The all new Seltos price starts at 10,99,000. But in the American ad they did not show any kind of pricing or
The all-new Kia Seltos.
they did not show any kind of pricing or discount or offer. Now let's move towards the next category, that is storytelling. And in the storytelling, the storytelling structure remains largely similar, but the hero changes from a celebrity in India to the product itself in the US. So what this trying to tell us is that in Indian ad the celebrity was used to convey the message, but in the American ad the product itself was a hero. So let's see what parameters we have here in storytelling section. What kind of a story type was used in the American ad and in an Indian ad. In Indian ad was a mostly imagination and fantasy. The reason was the main character, when we move towards the last quarter section of the ad, we can see that the main character seems imagining a product in his thoughts. See, here it is. He suddenly realized that he was imagining something. This is the Indian ad, but in the American ad they mostly use the highlights and the product features and all that. So story type is mostly montage in American ad. In the Indian and American ad they did not introduce any kind of a problem, so it remains the same in both Indian and American ad. They did not show even the problem solving in the ad. And in Indian scenario the hero of the story was celebrity, but in the American scenario the hero of the story was itself a product. Now if there is any kind of surprise element in the story, in both the ads we don't see any surprise element. We don't see any conflict present in both the ads, and we don't see any kind of emotional peak present, or but at the end we see the ending memorable or not. So in Indian ad the clear branding was shown because the logo was present, CTO was present, and the product focus was there at the end of the advertisement, as you can see here.
The all-new Seltos, badass forever.
Product is there, CTA is there, CTA is here, book now. And at the end there is a Kia logo.
Kia.
And in the American scenario the mild ending was used because there was no CTA.
First
and only
impressions.
there was no CTA present. The video was not focused on the product, but it was more focused on the brand logo, so it was a mild ending, as you can see here.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Now let's move towards our next category, that is visual analysis. And in the visual analysis, the visuals reinforce the positioning, with India emphasizing luxury and lifestyle, while the US places greater emphasis on the driving environment and the nature. So this is clearly visible in the ad itself, but let's see what we have in the parameters here. So if there is any kind of a luxury visual signals were shown. So in Indian scenario, yes, the luxury visuals were shown, but in the United States, the luxury visuals were not shown. In the next parameter, we have family visual signals. In both the scenarios, in both the ads, family visuals were not shown. If there is any kind of success visuals were shown, in both the scenarios, they were not shown. The nature signals were shown. In Indian scenario, nature signals were not shown, but in the United States, yes, it was clear, because the whole ad is being
Half the story.
shot in the nature and in the forest. So nature visuals are present there in the United States. If there is any kind of technological visuals were shown, yes, in both the ads, technological visuals were shown. Lifestyle visuals, I have made some kind of error here. It's a different lifestyle visuals signals were shown in Indian ad, but it was not shown in the American ad. So in the branding and recall section, this is the next 8th category we have. What we see in the branding and recall is, despite changing the communication strategy, Kia maintains a remarkably consistent branding approach across both the markets. So let's see what we have in the parameters here. Brand name repeat count. In Indian ad, it was brand name was repeated once, and in the American ad, it was repeated twice. Logo appearance count. In Indian ad, 3 times the logo appeared, but in the American ad, 5 times the logo was appeared. How I know this? I watched the ad, the whole ad. I counted the times the logo appeared on the screen, and I just typed it in here. The tagline present, yes, at the end of both the ads, you can see movement that inspires, that says
Movement. Kia, movement that inspires.
and similarly in the American ad,
Inspires.
you can
Movement that inspires.
so in both the ads, tagline was present. If there is any kind of a dominant brand color, no, I don't see any kind of a dominant brand color in both the ads. Branding integrated naturally. In India, the branding was fully organic. Brand is a part of a story itself, and the same thing happens in the American ad also. So if there is any kind of aggressive or soft branding was used, in India the balanced branding was used, because there was a moderate presence, and the branding is not interruptive in the ad. But in the United States, the same scenario falls. The next parameter we have is brand a hero or a story hero in the advertisement. In Indian scenario, the external or celebrity is a hero of the advertisement, but in the United States, the product is a hero. How we came to this particular conclusion is, when we see the overall ad, we can see that the more almost 50 or 60-40 ratio or 50-50 ratio or 50-50 focus was there on the celebrity during the ad. But in the American ad, the whole the product is the only one that is focused on the screen, that has a focus on the screen. The product is the only thing that is shown in the video, so the product was the central focus in American scenario. Now let's move towards the ninth category, that is distinctive brand assets. In case of distinctive brand assets, interestingly, the brand's core identity remains almost identical, indicating that Kia adopts the message without changing how the brand is recognized. Now let's see what we have in the parameters in distinctive brand assets. If there is any kind of jingle sound was used, yes, the jingle sound was used at the end of both the ads, so yes. If there is any kind of unique color dominant or color identity visible in both the scenarios, it's no. If there is any kind of slogan or tagline repeated, yes, in both the scenarios taglines were said at the end, so we marked it yes. There is a kind of a unique mascot or character was used, so in both the scenarios it was not used. Now let's move towards the last and the most important category, that is marketing and sales. In the marketing and sales, we can see that the sales strategy also differs with Indian scenario, encouraging immediate buying actions, while the US spends more time demonstrating the product's capability before asking for a decision. So how we came to this particular summary and conclusion in the marketing and sales, let's see what we have in the parameters. So in the parameters, the first parameter that we have is a CTA present or a call to action present in the ad or not. So in Indian scenario, there was a book now, call to action was present at the end of the ad, but in the American ad it was not present there. Now in the next parameter, what kind of CTA type was used. In Indian scenario, book now CTA type was used, but in the American scenario there was no CTA in the ad video. Now the next parameter is product introduction was present or not. In both the scenario it was yes, it was present. Product demonstration was present or not, yes, it was present in both the scenarios. Now how many features were shown during the ad. So in Indian scenario they just used one feature, that was a collision warning system somewhere in between the ad here. Here somewhere they have used the collision warning system. But in the United States they have shown almost 5 features in the advertisement. In the American scenario, the whole ad is based on feature display story. So there are almost 5 features are shown in the American ad. And how many features are visually demonstrated? So same, it's in India there are 5 one scenario demonstrated, only one scenario demonstrated in Indian ad, and almost 5 features visually demonstrated in American ad. If there is any kind of benefit claims present in Indian ad, there is no benefit claims present because they did not show any kind of feature and they did not claim anything. But in the American scenario they have shown almost 5 features in the ad, and they have said that you will get more in this particular product. So yes, they have made the claims. So in the next parameter we have price mentioned. In Indian scenario, yes, there was a price mentioned at the end as I have shown you earlier, but in the American scenario there is no price mentioned. Discount is not mentioned in both the scenarios. Offer is not mentioned in both the scenarios. Limited time mentioned. If the kind of urgency was created, it was not created in both the scenarios. Limited quantity mentioned. No, it was not mentioned in both the scenarios. If they have done any kind of a comparison or competitor comparison in the ad, in both the scenarios they have not done it. Does ad makes any claim? I don't see any kind of a significant claim that they have made in both the ads. Ad provides support for its claim, so as the ad did not made any significant claims, so they have not shown, they have not displayed any kind of claim support as well. Now let's see, the next parameter we have is a contact method provided in both the ads. Contact method was not provided. Campaign context with festival or event, no. In both the scenario it was not shown there. If there is any kind of a social or cause message present in both the scenarios, it was not present. Community building message, no, it was not present in both the scenarios. If there is any kind of comparison present, no. Brand anniversary, here it is, the brand anniversary or milestone mentioned, no. Now the next parameter we have is secondary brand visible. There is no other brand visible in the ad. Now in the next parameter, is there any kind of a co-branding or partnership explicitly mentioned? No, it is not mentioned there. Trial offered or guarantee warranty mentioned? No, there is nothing that we see in the ad that mention or any of these parameters. So now the final conclusion is, what we can say is Kia has redesigned its communication strategy to suit the expectations of each market. That means they have completely redesigned their communication on the basis of Indian market and on the basis of American market, in a completely different way. So you can say that in Indian scenario, they are selling this car says something about you. That means this is their message. This car says something about you. So that means this car says something about the person who owns that car. And in the American scenario, they are trying to say that this car does something for you. That means they are more focused on features and how a car owner can utilize that particular product. So in Indian scenario, they are more focused towards identity, emotion, status, celebrity, premium lifestyle and aspirational ownership. But in the American scenario, they are more focused towards functionality, demonstration, convenience and product first and practical ownership. So this is the major conclusion that we have after doing the complete analysis of Kia Seltos ad in Indian scenario and in American scenario. So you can tell us what you have learned after seeing this particular analysis, and if you have any feedback for me, you can share the feedback and we will try to implement that particular feedback in our next videos. Thank you.